Well, it's that time of year again. It's the new year. Time for all those New Year's resolutions that we're probably not going to follow up on, but we did this last year, so we're running back, doing it again. We're giving every NBA team a New Year's resolution in 3 words or less. Before we give NBA teams our New Year's resolutions, if you haven't already, make sure you leave this video a like, give us a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. Atlanta Hawks, consider trading Hunter. DeAndre Hunter is having, I would say, the best season of his career. He's playing great. He might be in contention for 6th man of the year, but he is kind of injury prone. And when you look at the Hawks roster, they have a bit of a logjam at the small forward position. They got Jalen Johnson, they got Zachary Ricochet, and they've got DeAndre Hunter. I think this is a classic moment where a guy is playing the best basketball of his career. A contender would pay maybe a bit of an inflated price for him, so I would just consider it. Not saying you have to do it right now. Maybe you do it in the offseason, but I think you want to clear up that logjam you got at the small forward position, so I'd look into trading Hunter while his value is at an all-time high.
I went with get another playmaker. I feel vindicated about Trae Young. We made a video like 3 months ago. I called him maybe the most underrated player in the league. Kind of feel like that's panning out a little bit. He's been very good. Problem is, like you said, a lot of log jams, really good small forwards. When he checks out, like not a lot of playmakers. Jalen Johnson can do it. Dyson Daniels a little bit. They could really use another playmaker. Boston Celtics, Porzingis stays healthy. I mean, I got no issues with anything on the court. Everything is fine. It's just Porzingis gotta stay healthy. If they're fully healthy, I think the only team that could beat them in a playoff series is OKC. Even then, I'm picking the Celtics. Porzingis missed all that time to start the year. He comes back and then just gets injured again on Christmas. They just need him healthy.
You know, I spent like 20-30 minutes looking at the stats of this team, trying to find something they don't do well. Yeah, I tried to nitpick the team, right? So I just went with coast to playoffs.
Okay.
They're doing fine right now. Are they going to get the 1 seed? Probably not with how well Cleveland's playing. I don't think they necessarily need it. They're not going to drop below the 2nd seed though. Just coast to playoffs. Like I said, get everyone healthy, make sure you're at full strength, and then go from there. Brooklyn Nets, trade deadline sellers. You've already started to see it a little bit. They gave up Dennis Schroeder, I think, for just like basically a couple of seconds, and then DeAnthony Melton, who's not going to play the entire season. So, you know, I don't know how many guys they're willing to offload, but I definitely think you're going to see the Brooklyn Nets in a lot of trade deadline rumors.
Yeah, mine's basically the same. Lose more games. Their biggest problem, they're winning too much. And yeah, the Dennis Schroeder trade helps, but they just beat the Bucks the other night. Granted, it was a Bucks team without Dame and Giannis, but they got to lose more games. They got their pick back from the Rockets. We need to go full tank here. If it means trading Cam Johnson, then do it, because you got to lose more. Charlotte Hornets, I said young core playing. At the time of this recording, LaMelo Ball, Mark Williams, and Brandon Miller have played a combined 2 total games together. Now, they are 0-2 in those games. But like, it's been another disappointing year for the Hornets, but it's tough to even tell like how good they are moving forward, what they got moving forward, because their young core has not played together.
I put shoot less threes. Now, the Hornets are the type of modern NBA team that just pisses me off because they continue to jack up threes even though they're not good at it. I have no problem with good 3-point shooting teams taking a lot of them, but the Hornets are 21st in the NBA in 3-point percentage, and yet they're 3rd in attempts. It bugs me. So stop doing it. Chicago Bulls, I'm fairly certain I put the same thing for them in like all these lists for the past like couple of videos, so I'm just gonna say it again. Blow it up. I know they're probably trying at this point. There's rumors that they're looking to move Vucevic and Zach LaVine, but guess what? This is what happens when you do it like 2 trade cycles too late. Get all these guys off the roster, embrace the tank, and start over.
Yeah, I'm with you. Finally make trade. Like you said, we make these twice a year, one at the beginning of the season, or sometimes 3 times a year, and it's gonna be the same thing until they make these trades. I understand they didn't do it the past offseason because LaVine's value was so low. Same with Vucevic. They're playing better this year, so cash in now. Finally do it. For the Cavs, have playoff success. We've seen them have some really good regular seasons. Sometimes that hasn't fully transferred over to the playoffs, but every year it's been a little bit better. They got knocked out in the first round in 2023. Last year, you make the second round. This year, it has to be the conference finals. I'm not expecting them to win the East. You got the Celtics there. They're the favorites. You got to make the conference finals.
I put hold off Celtics. I think if you do make the conference finals and you're against Boston, I think you have to have home court to stand a chance. Boston, I think, is still the better team. They're definitely the more experienced team. They should be able to. They've got a pretty decent like couple game lead on Boston right now, but we're getting into that second half of the season. Guys may be in and out of the roster a little bit more with injuries, guys getting tired. So I think you got to do everything you can to hold off Boston for the first seed. Dallas Mavericks, kind of a similar thing to the Cavs. I just put keep top 4. I think with how good the West is, how tightly packed the West is, I mean, right now they're scheduled for another first round matchup with the Clippers.
Ooh.
So, and you know what? That game 6 they had in Dallas, then again, they beat them by a lot in game 5. You know what? Just get top 4. I think home court advantage always helps. So you know what? Just go for it. Get top 4.
I said playoff Luka returns. I mean, for Luka Doncic's standards, he's been not amazing this season. Still like incredible compared to everyone else.
28 points a game. Oh, what's wrong with you,
Yeah,
Luka?
we have a huge problem here, but his numbers have dipped just ever so slightly. He's obviously dealt with injuries, and now he's going to be out for, I think, maybe like a month or so. If you can get him ramped up in time for the playoffs, playing like he did last year, like you can go back to the finals. It's as simple as that. Denver Nuggets, smart trade shopping. Like we made a video on the Nuggets recently. They have a lot of issues. The Cavs just dropped 150 on them. Like, they got some issues for sure, and I can see why they want to make some trades. Levine and Ingram, I've heard, is rumors. You don't need to just full-blown panic, so make a smart trade if you make one.
I just put someone help Joker. I mean, this man is playing so well, so incredibly well. And I get if people are still a little upset that he's in the MVP conversation, despite the fact his team's not so good. I get it at this point. Like, they're hovering around like, you know, the 6th, 7th seed, and he's still leading the MVP ladder. I get it, but at the same time, God, he's playing so fucking well. Detroit Pistons keep building silently. I mean, you hear a little whisper about Detroit every once in a while nowadays because it's like, oh, they're actually, no, Detroit, they're playing well. I know you're very loud in our group chats. You're like, I'm cashed on that Cade Cunningham stock, which, hey, you know what? You got that one right. You called it right. But I think at this point, they're only a half game out of the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference. I think it would still be better for them if they miss the play-in, miss the playoffs entirely, get another lottery pick. But keep doing what you're doing, Detroit. You got a good thing going right now.
Yeah, I said make play-in. They still have their problems. Cade needs a co-star around him, and a lot of their young pieces outside of him haven't necessarily been great or lived up to the hype, but still a fantastic season. I think recently that win over the Kings equaled their win total from last year. If they can just make the play-in, that would do so much for this franchise after just so much pain this fan base has experienced over the past couple seasons. Golden State Warriors trade for star. I mean, if you want to compete in the Steph Curry era still, the Draymond Steph era, whatever you want to call it, they need another star. They need someone else. I personally think Jimmy Butler would be a good fit. I know the Heat said he's not for sale. I'm not buying it personally. We'll see what happens. I think they should trade for a star. I think now's the time. They have picks. They have assets. Let's see it happen.
Yeah, mine was basically the same. I said last gasp trade. We just put that video out on the Warriors where we were saying like, I mean, they lost Clay, and right now, you know, Hield, Kuminga, and Pods are not really filling that void. They need another star. If you want to have one last run with Steph, you got to give him some co-stars. Houston Rockets, start Amen Thompson. I know he's been great coming off the bench, but in the couple games that he started this season, he's averaging like 17 points, 10 rebounds. He's an all NBA level defender.
Yeah.
I think at this point, honestly, I think he's a little bit better than Jabari Smith Jr. It might throw off their rotation. They got a good thing going, but I would look into starting him.
I said more offensive consistency. Their defense is incredible. Second best defensive team in the league, only behind OKC, but on offense, like the inconsistency is ridiculous, and it's because of guys like Jalen Green, Van Vliet, and Jabari Smith Jr., who are just so damn inconsistent. They rely a lot on second chance points, offensive rebounds. They need more consistency on that end if they want to make a playoff run. Indiana Pacers, old Halliburton returns. Speaking of inconsistency, this dude Tyrese Halliburton has been, I don't even know what's going on.
Well,
like,
got that new bed yet?
Maybe not, because this has been such a damn problem. They need the guy who was giving them 20 and 10 last season on good shooting. I mean, they've been playing better. They have an insane stretch coming up that will happen before this video comes out where they just played OKC, lost that game, and they play the Bucks and the Celtics twice or something.
Oh, jeez.
But they have been climbing up the standings, but if they want to do anything in the playoffs or just straight up make the playoffs, they need that old Halliburton.
I just put sneak into playoffs. They seem like a classic like play-in team, you know, gets in with like a 42-40 record, you know, wins a game in the play-in seed, and then gets bounced in 5 by Cleveland in the first round. LA Clippers, ease Kawhi in. Kawhi is coming off a long layoff, hasn't played a game this season. Apparently they're supposed to get him back on January 4th. I think it's gonna be smart. Maybe bring him off the bench the first couple games. Don't throw him right into the fire in the starting lineup, playing like 30 minutes a night. I think the Clippers are gonna do this because I think they're gonna try to be smart about it. They've got a good thing going. They don't want to disrupt it too much, but I would ease Kawhi into the rotation.
I said C playoff Kawhi. There's two parts to that. First, you got to make the playoffs. Clippers doing pretty well without him.
So far, they're on track.
Yeah, they're doing solid without him. And then the second part is Kawhi actually being fully healthy and playing in the playoffs. It's been a long time since we've fully seen a playoff Kawhi where he's healthy the entire playoffs. I want to see it. Even if it's just one series, if you have Kawhi there, you have everyone else balling out like they have been. They're dangerous. I'm sure as hell not picking them out the West or to make the conference finals, but they're certainly dangerous. Lakers make small trade. The championship window, it's closed. It's done. LeBron's too old. AD's still pretty good, but the supporting cast, it's solid, but it's not good enough for a championship. Make a small trade. Don't give up your complete future, but if you make a small trade, I mean, they're a dangerous team, so it could really help them.
Yeah, I put call up Bronny. Just for the playoffs.
Okay.
LeBron and Bronny played a regular season game together. Get them out on a playoff court together. I mean, he could come in. That's a small move, right? It doesn't hurt anyone. Memphis Grizzlies, do nothing stupid. This applies both to the team and to the front office. They've got a great roster right now. Don't go out and make a huge trade or anything. A nice role player, someone around the peripherals who can, help your team a little bit. So front office, don't do anything stupid. And Ja, you've kept your head down. You've been playing great ball this season. You don't do anything stupid either. And we'll see what the Grizzlies can do in the playoffs.
I had to nitpick here because they've been so damn good, but I said Bane breaks out. That's the only thing they're kind of missing. 6th in offensive rating, 4th in defensive rating. Usually that's what you need to be a championship team, a real contender, is to be very good on both sides of the basketball. So if Desmond Bane can be more consistent, break out shooting a bit, and Marcus Smart can as well. I mean, I wasn't high on this Grizzlies team going into the season, but
neither was I. Yeah.
At this point, they were finals contender. It's simple as that. Miami Heat, solve Jimmy's situation. Again, like I said, I'm not buying that whole thing they put out. They put out that statement. I don't care.
They freaking tweeted that out.
Yeah, they did. I saw that. Jimmy's still not with the team. I mean, he's probably with the team by the time this video comes out, but at the time of this recording, he's not. I still think something's happening here, but regardless, they need to solve the situation.
I just put trade Jimmy Butler. I don't buy that tweet for one fucking second. Yeah. And Miami, don't let this become another Dwayne Wade situation where he kind of parts ways with the franchise that he had so much success with on a bit of a sour note. I mean, Jimmy Butler, I think, has done more for Miami than anyone could have thought possible when they first brought him in. I mean, 2 NBA Finals runs. I think when they signed Jimmy, they would have been satisfied with 1 or 2 Eastern Conference Finals berths. Time's up with him. It happens, right? Your relationship has just run its course. It's best if you go your separate ways. Just trade him somewhere, get a package back for him, and don't lose him for nothing this offseason. Milwaukee Bucks, don't get CJ. I think this was just a rumor that died a day after it was posted, but I saw this that the Bucks could be favorites to reunite Dame and CJ if the Pelicans trade him, and I was like, dear God, why? I was like, it did not work for a full decade in Portland. Why on earth would you want to retry it in Milwaukee when they're 2 or 3 years older?
I said Chris Middleton return. I know technically he's back, but if they want to be legit contenders, they need the old Chris Middleton back. He's not going to be as good as 2021 Chris Middleton, but he's shown flashes. I mean, remember last playoffs, dude was actually kind of balling out there for a bit. So if they want to be contenders, like I said, they need that old Chris Middleton back, hooping out and closing games for him. Minnesota Timberwolves, I have this for one team every New Year's. Invent time travel. Again, you can't do it. It's not possible, but they need to go back to October at the very least to stop that Towns-Randle trade. It'd be better to go back to the Gobert trade, but that's their only hope, and I just feel bad for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I just put dump Julius Randle. He's not a fit. It doesn't work. They fucked up thinking he can come in and give us 85% of what Towns could. No, he can't. He doesn't work. He doesn't play defense. He's pissing off his teammates. Just get rid of him while you can. New Orleans Pelicans, say a prayer. I mean, what has happened out there? Now it's they might be trading Zion, maybe potentially done with him. I think they've said the only untouchable guys in their team are Herb Jones and
Trey Murphy.
Yeah, and Trey Murphy, yeah. That's it. I thought last year, they were building something.
Yeah, we made that video.
Yeah, they had CJ. They brought in DeJounte Murray this offseason. I was like, oh, that could be a good fit, especially next to CJ, take some pressure off and play defense. And it has just all fallen apart.
I said everything. They're that one person, New Year's resolution.
Just everything?
Yeah. I'm going to lose all this weight. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to get a girlfriend. I'm going to get a new apartment, get a house, get the new car. It's they got to do everything here. CJ looks washed. Brandon Ingram, he's a free agent this offseason. Do you want to pay him a ton of money? They lost the DeJounte Murray trade already because Dyson Daniels balling out. Zion is officially, I guess, a bust, just not reliable whatsoever. They have too many problems to to pinpoint one. New York Knicks get a bench. The starting lineup, it rocks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's incredible. The bench sucks. I mean, getting Mitchell Robinson back will help with that. He'll help their defense as well. Landry Shamet is healthy. Maybe he could do something. Deuce McBride, very inconsistent, but some nights will give you stuff. They need a bench. Starting lineup, solid. They need a bench.
I went with managed starting lineup because I don't think they're going to get a bench. So if you're not going to get a bench, you got to manage your starting lineup. And I know Tibbs has a bad habit of running his starting lineups into the ground. Considering where they're at in the playoff race, and you look at the teams below them, I think it's a bit bizarre that Mikal Bridges is averaging like 38 minutes a game. And like, you know, OG and Brunson are playing like 36 minutes a game. I think if we can try to lower that down to like 31, 32, 30 minutes a game by the end of the season, make sure they're all fresh come the playoffs. Because the last thing you want is like last year where they're just falling apart in the playoffs. Guys are picking up injuries left and right. Oklahoma City Thunder, focus on health. I mean, they're going to get the 1 seed in the West, but I think, kind of like the Celtics, it's like just get to the playoffs healthy at all costs. I mean, Chet's out. He's going to stay out for a while. Hold him out even longer if you want to make sure he comes back at full strength. Focus on getting your entire team healthy in time for the playoffs and go from there.
Yeah, I said keep Chet healthy. It was going to be a concern. We knew about it dating back to him at Gonzaga. Like, could he stay healthy in the NBA? So far, it's been a struggle. When he's on the court, dude is phenomenal. He can make that defense even better when he comes back. They need him healthy. With him healthy, I think they're making the finals, but he's got to be healthy. Orlando Magic, new training staff. Okay, I'm joking here. I'm sure the trainers there, everyone in their department is extremely qualified and everything. It's just a joke, but their injury luck has been so damn just terrible. Paolo gets injured, then it's Franz, now it's Mo Wagner. All three of them were playing incredible before they got hurt, and even now they're still winning games, but they got to get healthy.
Yeah, I went with injury god's appeasement. I don't know if they need to like sacrifice a goat and something and like, paint its blood on the Amway Center wall, right? So, the injury gods don't come through and smite all their players. But I mean, Franz Wagner is out. Mo Wagner's done for the season. Paulo Banchero's been injured. Apparently he's like ramping up to come back, but they cannot catch a fucking break. Philadelphia 76ers finalized stadium plans. Candidly, it's more important than anything they're going to do on the floor this year. I mean, there was the whole rumor this offseason of, maybe they can't get their new stadium built. They might move to fucking New Jersey as the Philadelphia 76ers, which is not going to happen. Apparently a vote just passed through like the Philadelphia City Council. They still got a lot of hurdles to jump through. Get that brand new stadium finalized, and hopefully we can enjoy it in like 2031 by the time Paul George's contract is up.
I said get Embiid back, and again, it's similar to the Chris Middleton thing. I know the dude's been playing, but we have not seen the Joel Embiid of the past few seasons, and they need that dude. It's all on him. I'm getting a little bit worried, like, has he peaked? Are we slowly kind of going downhill from here just with his health? He had that great game on Christmas, but got injured before the game, just like in the warm-ups on that damn rope. They just need like a healthy Embiid. They're not going to do anything this season, but for the future, the short-term future, they need the old Joel Embiid. Suns, keep KD healthy. At the time of this recording, after the game on Christmas Day, they're 14-5 when KD plays. They're 1-9 when he doesn't. They got plenty of problems. Defense isn't great. Nurkic hasn't been a good fit there, but at least when KD plays, they're a pretty good team. When he's out, they are awful.
I would put keep doubling down, because why not at this point? They're already so deep. They've got so many like sunk costs with all their first round picks gone. It's like, why not go for it with KD and Book? I mean, I've seen their name thrown around for like De'Aaron Fox. I don't know how they can muster enough assets to get him. The more realistic one I've seen is like a Vucevic or something. Maybe get Nurk out of there, bring in Vucevic. Fuck it, why not at this point? Just go for it. Portland Trailblazers, starting Scoot. I think like the second half of the season and the early part of next season is going to be really important for the Blazers to determine whether or not Scoot is their point guard of the future. And he's had, another up and down season, but I think honestly, you're not going to be able to get all the information you need if Scoot's playing like 22 minutes a game off the bench. Part ways with Ant. He's been playing well this season. Get a good package for him. Start Scoot and see how he does.
Mine is similar, but it was cash in vets. I mean, we have the young core set. Shaden Sharp's your main piece. Tumani Kamara, Donovan Clingan, Denny Advia, and then Scoot. I want to see him start as well. Maybe we're just high on him coming off that game winner and everything, but
he looked good hitting that game winner though.
Yeah, it's time to cash in on Ant. It's time to cash in on guys like Robert Williams, Jeremy Grant. If someone wants him, DeAndre Ayton. Like, I wouldn't mind maybe keeping Robert Williams, but like, let's cash in on these guys and like fully start tanking more and moving towards that future team. Sacramento Kings, keep Fox happy. The Kings, holy shit, They are not doing well. You gotta keep Fox happy somehow, like it's a dumpster fire. If you lose him, he requests a trade, I think you're looking at another long playoff drought. I feel so bad for Kings fans. I am sorry, but somehow you gotta keep him happy.
I put 2025 crash out. I mean, the fact that they fired Mike Brown after, what, like a 5-game lead. The dude won Coach of the Year.
Unanimously.
Only time in history, right?
Yes.
A couple seasons ago, and he's gone? Huh? I don't get it. I mean, yeah, there's rumors of Fox being unhappy. DeMar DeRozan has not worked there. I also feel bad for Kings fans, but I think we're headed to a Kings crash out. San Antonio Spurs, get playoff experience, or maybe get play-in experience. I mean, they're kind of right on the bubble, hovering around the play-in playoff area. I think it would be super valuable to get Wemby in that environment, have him play in a play-in game, or maybe even better, playoff series. Get him that experience, playing in that environment, and then go forward next season.
I basically said the same. I said make the playoffs, like even more bolder, like not just making the play-in. Let's make the playoffs. I want to see OKC versus San Antonio, like the two future teams of the league matching up in a 1-8. 5 straight seasons not making the playoffs, which feels so weird for the Spurs because they had 22 straight prior to that. They got a legit shot, and I really just want to see it happen because that series, whoever they play, is must watch. Toronto Raptors, healthy Emmanuel Quickley. I mean, there's been some solid notes for the Raptors. Scotty Barnes, once again, after returning, has been really good. RJ Barrett's having a career year. Grady Dick, not the best like shooting numbers, but he's taken a leap. And then Ochai Agbaji even having the best season of his career. It's just Emmanuel Quickley who hasn't really played. He's been banged up with just various random injuries. So I want to see him playing for the Raptors as well.
This isn't really a resolution. I just had to put it because I just want to recognize it. Them jerseys, though. I mean, the Raptors. Their City Edition jersey with the Raptor doing the Vince Carter between legs, fucking brilliant. And the hardwood throwback, like to the jerseys that Vince Carter wore, that purple and red and white and black, like keep those too. I know the NBA is gonna make them replace them because they do every year. They gotta have a new City Edition jersey every single. Keep those. Utah Jazz, keep tank rolling. I mean, they're doing just as good a job as anyone. I mean, just took a loss to the Blazers the other night off that Scoot game winner. Keep it going. Probably flip market in the offseason if his contract allows it, and just go full-blown tank and then full-blown rebuild.
Yeah, I'm gonna add on to that and say get good pick. I mean, we've seen with the Pistons, not just about losing, you gotta get the pick as well. They have not had a top 3 pick since 2011. Prior to that, it was like Darren Williams in 2005. Like, at least get like a top 3 pick. It's a pretty good draft. Hopefully you could get the number 1 pick, but at least a top 3. And finally, the Wizards. Sarr keeps hooping. He had a awful start to the rookie season, terrible in summer league, but he's shown flashes. He's shooting better. He can play great defense. We're seeing more of what we like expected when he was hyped up as like, not the second Wemby, but it was like, oh, there's another French big coming in. Remember the name Alex Sarr. We're finally seeing a little bit of it.
I'm so disappointed in you. You didn't put French young guys like I did.
I had to do something for the Wizards fans this time. They wait the whole video.
You let him down. I love the top comment on like the predictions before the year. It's like, waited 20 minutes to see my team, and this man put French young guys. So you got him with an actual one this time. I got him with the joke this time. That's the video, guys. What New Year's resolution would you give your NBA team? I'd love to hear what you have to say in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving it a like, as it really does help us out. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos as well? And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.